my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. This is Table Topper Day, and I also have clap on, clap off. Yes, a little demo on clappers. I'm going to tell you about the Quilt Alliance. We have a mail call. We're going to look at some more goodies so I can get that stuff off the back over there. So first, just let me say real quick that the Oh My Stars is in sections now. Here is one side and the other side and the bottom. So left, right, and bottom. And we had a question here on YouTube from Scoots1950 who asked, how do I handle doing layouts if my design wall is too small for what I'm working on? And I think just doing it in chunks is a good way to do it. You could just make one portion of it that fits your design wall. If you have digital skills, you could take a picture and then you could put side by side the picture so that you can see how the 2 chunks or 3 chunks, however many you're doing, look together. All right, I have a sneak peek. This is just for all of you watching the video. I'm not going to show it anywhere else. It's something that will come up way down the road. Actually, about a year from now is when you'll see the finished quilt. So that's sometimes how it works with projects. And I'm working with Benner Texas Batiks, which I haven't worked with for a while. So it's been really fun to switch over and work with some batiks. So I thought I'd just show you the two of the blocks for the quilt. There they are. Ah, so fun, right? Now, you have to forget this because you won't see it for a year. It's been fun. It's been fun to work with it. There's also going to be a little bit of applique on there. And I wanted to tell you that I'm using for the batiks. Batiks are a very tightly woven fabric, so they're tighter than your regular quilting cotton, and I really like using the non-stick needles, so I like the Schmetz needle. And because this is also going to have a little applique, I'm using the non-stick needles for my fusible applique as well. Even though I cut it away, there's still this needle will still hit some fusible occasionally because it doesn't always go all the way over it. So this works really well for that. And our ambassador Suzanne said it is great for like those bag making materials like Soft and Stable and things like that. So if you've never tried it, there's a link in the description box under the video and over at my website today under the video. All right, let's first do the table topper. So I'm going to take this off the wall and I'll be right back. So here are my table topper blocks from our book. We're doing a block from each of the quilts in my table topper book and then a few bonus blocks. And so today is a bonus block. And oh, I dressed to match the table topper today. My pretty in pink Sloan Zone. So nice, huh? Yes, I always feel pretty in pink. Okay, what do I have? Here is the block. This is mine. And here's the pattern. So today it's an easy block, and I am going to go through and show you how I pick the colors and a little bit about pressing today. That's my tip to go with this block. So let's take a look. So I have a refreshment for Table Topper Day because, that's a good thing to have. That's what we do. We put this on our table topper, right? That's so. Okay, our block is some squares and sew and flips. And one nice thing about these sew and flips is they're not really matching anything because it's got the sashing. So it's an easy one. Let's look at the fabrics. I want to pull in the green solid, because remember one of my goals, oh, my hand is damp. One of the goals of this is for me to use more solids with it and sprinkle these solids in and just see how they work. I don't want to overpower it with solids, but I want to add them here and there. So I am going to use the solid for the plus, for this sashing between the blocks. And I'm going to go ahead and use this the light blue from Birdsong that has the background, so it's just the 2 colors, and that will be kind of how they'll look, they'll be sideways like that, or cornered, and then there'll be a square that I'm doing a sew and flip on, but I'm trying to mock it up, so we're going to have another unit in between, which is that triangle. So to do a mock-up, I'm going to fold this. So here would be how it looks, right? So you'd have it on this side and the light on this side with the sew and flip. And here's the stripe, trying the stripe out. And I am going to have in the center block, I'll fussy cut one of the flowers from this for the middle of the sashing. Okay, so here's the stripe. Now let's try another blue for it. All of these are bigger, a little bit big piece here. So let's see, here's the light blue. And I think that light blue just is too similar in tone to the green. So it blends a little bit too much. Let's try the darker blue. Okay, yeah, there we go. So that gives me enough contrast to here. And I think I'll pick a flower. Maybe I might pick this one that has the green and yellow for the middle, since it has the green here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I will cut these and put them on my design board, and then we'll talk about it. I laid everything out on the board so I can just take this right to the sewing machine. All you're doing for each of these squares is a sew and flip in opposite corners. Now my fabric is directional, so I have all of these so that the direction is the top of the fabric here. So I do want to keep the placement even. You know, I don't want to rotate the block by accident and put the sew and flips on the wrong sides, but your fabric may not be directional, so that won't matter at all. So let me just show you a little mock-up. So this is an easy thing to mock up. If you're just wanting to see how it looks, you can just take and fold your square into a triangle, fold it in half on the angle, and then take your design board and stick a pin in it. So there. You can just see how the block is going to turn out. And if you're going to do that, you could just do all 4 of them if you really wanted to, and see the look of it. So I like that. I'm going to sew it up. Because your blocks are the same, you know, basically they're the same, even if you have them directional, you could just chain piece these. You can do all 4 one side, then all 4 the other side, as long as you keep your rotation on directional ones so that you don't, so that you keep the top at the top of the block. You can just chain piece all 8 sides and then go to press it. And when we go to press today, I am going to do a little clap on, clap off. All right, clap on, clap off. You know that commercial? Well, we are not talking about that. We're going to be talking about clappers and how they can improve your quilt making. Now, I have been experimenting a little with this because honestly, I did not come from the land of clapper. I wasn't somebody who'd been using these a long time. This is a really new addition for me. I have heard of them, and I just had never tried them. And so I ended up this was a gift. And then this one I got myself first. And you definitely need more than one. And as Bobby, our ambassador, will tell you, she has an entire range of these. Yes, you need a lot of clappers if you really get serious about it. But first, what I want to do is tell you that there is an excellent video. Bobby found it, so she sent it to me a while back, and it is on Bernadette Banner's channel. Bernadette does a lot of, she does sort of reproduction clothing. She lives and breathes reproduction clothing. Just like we live and breathe quilting, she lives and breathes reproduction clothing. And it's a fascinating channel. But she had on Barbara of Royal Black Couture. And Barbara is giving you a masterclass in pressing. And it is also including the use of clappers and hams. You've heard of hams, which are these sort of cushiony things that you press on. And just the steps, all the steps and why they are important. One of the first things they say right at the front of the video is the difference between making something that looks sort of amateurish and something that looks like you bought it in a high-end shop has to do with pressing, which is true for your quilts as well. It'll take it to the next level. I also use a wool pressing mat and a heavy iron. So let's go. I am going to give you a few of the tips, and I would encourage you to go watch Barbara's video. It is fascinating. You will learn so much. Okay, so I've brought the ironing board over here. I've got my wool mat, and I will link you below to this manufacturer. I love this one. And I think the mat plus the clappers really make the huge difference. So I have our blocks, and I have a few half square triangles that are the cutaways from Oh My Stars, so we'll use those as well. So the first thing is to warm up these fibers, and it is so very important to warm them up so that they are more pliable and they will adhere to that crease that you're now giving them more readily. So I am using an Aliso iron. I like theirs, and I like the weight of them. These are the ones that have the little feet, so when you take your hand off, you know, they lift up. But basically, I am taking this and pressing the fiber so I warm it up, and then I fold over so that I make that crease. So I'm going to fold over both of them and make the crease. Now, for years and years and years, this is pretty much where I ended. And even when I was using a wool mat, this is the step that I finished at. Okay, I made the creases, pretty nice. What I'm doing now is adding the clapper. And so when you take this and you make it warm and you make your press and then you put the clapper on top, the heat is coming off of, is being drawn away from those fibers, and the moisture is being drawn away into the wood. So there is moisture when you do a press with steam, and that is what now will be sort of wicked away into your wood. And then you leave this sit. You don't just do it for 3 seconds. You do it until it's cool. So that's why you need a lot of these if you really want to be into this. So let me show you the difference. I'm just going to do 2 of them, 2 half square triangles. Press this one and press the other one. Get the fiber warmed. Press it open, and then take the other one, press it open, and you'll see, like, this is regular cotton. It's not starch. There's no starch. But what I'm going to do now is take one of these and put it under the clapper over here, and I'll take the other one and just put it on the side. And as soon as I lay it down again, it pops up. It sort of lifts. It doesn't stay that nice flat. I mean, it's still warm, like the mat is warm and everything. So these guys are going to sit here a minute. Now, when you're doing a lot of these, if you don't have a lot of clappers, I'm finding that I sort of been working in segments, sort of working along, but I also will just go ahead and put a bunch of them under there at the same time, overlapping them just a little bit, and I find that that still works really well. So I am going to do, we're going to talk about that in a second. So I'm going to do this one, and then I'll do a second one and stick it under there as well. Okay. And just kind of let them all sit there. Now this one has cooled, and it is just so nice and crisp and flat, and is going to keep this crease. And when you watch Barbara on that video, she's going to talk a lot about that crease and the fiber memory and things like that, and it is so incredibly fascinating. So this is beautiful. Now I'll be able to use this block. Okay, let me show you the half square triangles. I think it's cooled, because remember, your wool is going to be warm as well. So now I think that this one stays totally flat, and you can see how this one lifts up some. So there's definitely, it is making this crease much flatter for the block than without the clapper. Okay, my friend. So that is the mini clapper lesson, and really go watch the video. I have linked it down below, and then I have embedded it in my website today. So you can watch it right in my website when you go there today, when you get the email. So I hope that you learned something from that. I know I did. I'm going to be watching it again because I watched it a couple of weeks ago. It's like, I'm going to watch it again now and see if I learned something new. Yeah, so I'm going to go finish up this block, and then we'll go on to some, I think, some fun mail call. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the wall, see how it looks with the others. This is the first time I've seen it. Yes, there we go. So these guys can now be sewn on the left side. So there's a little bit of sashing, or a little bit of sashing around them, and then setting them all together. And I am going to use the off-white from Birdsong, the light from Birdsong. That's the one that I'm going to use. I'm just going to set them just like that. Ah, nice. And I'm thinking I'm going to balance color, where there'll probably be more blue and blue here and pink in the middle on that side. So we'll see how it plays out. That's my thought right now. Okay, I want to tell you about an event that you can get involved with from the Quilt Alliance. The Quilt Alliance, if you remember a while back, I was interviewed to tell a story about one of my quilts, and that is with the Quilt Alliance. And they have lots of quilters' stories documented, either just written or video, lots and lots of video stories. And they do an event, and they've started it quite a few years ago. It used to be in person, and since COVID, it has been virtual, and they're keeping it virtual this year. They may always do a virtual one now, I'm not sure, but it's called Quilters Take a Moment, and it is on September 15th to the 17th. So it's online, anybody can go, you can buy a ticket for the 3 days, and there'll be tons of different talks and people telling stories about their quilts. And so I am on the board of, or one of the panels, that's it. I'm on the panel for one of the talks, but there's a talk on sustainable stitching, was how we can lessen the impact of our quilt making on the environment. One on reusing vintage and antique quilts. Today's artists and makers are giving old quilts new life, so there's a discussion on that. And then I'm part of a panel for sustaining a creative business. You know, how do we create a business? There's 5 of us, and how have we created our business and sustained it through all the many years that all of us have had it. Several of us have had businesses over 20 years, including myself, which is 22 years in business as a quilt maker. Then there's a few other interactive things where the audience, and like mine will have an interactive Q&A at the end, plus everything is recorded so that you can watch it later. So the link is below and at my website today for that. So you might find that really interesting. It's something different, and you get to see some makers from different parts of the quilting industry and the quilting designers, different types of quilting designers. So it should be really fun. Okay, let me do a mail call first. So I have from Sheila. So Sheila sent me, look at this. Look at the strawberries. Strawberries are everywhere, right? Everywhere. So cute. And she said she was out at I think she said on a shop hop maybe, and she found this piece of fabric and thought of me. Look at that. Isn't that darling? I love it. Look at the black scissors. They look just like mine, just like my black scissors. Thank you, Sheila. And Sheila, did I tell you where she's from? Yes, Sheila is from Arkansas. So Sheila in Arkansas. And the other one is from Darlene in Nebraska. And she wrapped it in Christmas fabric. This is fabulous. So she put tape all over it so that it came with the Christmas paper in the mailbox. This is so darn cute. Greg brought it in. And it's like, I think I squealed. Oh, so cute. And so she wrote a very nice note. And look at the beautiful card. Isn't that gorgeous? Ah, flowers, flowers, flowers. So she sent along this picture for Greg. Isn't that cool? So he will have to do some research on that and see what that train engine's about. Then she sent along, awesome. Excuse me, the gummy bears for us to have. Mwah. And a lovely Starbucks card. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Darlene. This is wonderful. I love the wrapping paper. That's so cool. All right. One more thing. So I want to remind you about the planner, so that you can go and enter or just buy one for yourself. The planner that is designed by Lori Holt and printed by the Fat Quarter Shop. So cute. And I was watching one of our friends has been using a planner and putting like stickers in it and making it more like a journal. And I thought, maybe that's what I need to do next year, is try that. I was out looking at cute stickers, you know, not like kids stickers, not that kind of stuff I would like. How do you say that? Adult stickers. I don't want to say adult stickers. But, you know, things that there was some vintage looking ones. I was looking for some Alice in Wonderland ones, although a lot of them were Disney, so that wasn't interesting. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. So if you haven't entered, the link is down below and at my website today so that you can get in on that. All right, you are going to make your bonus block for our table topper today. Here we go. Table topper sew along. So, whoops. I hope you liked the clapper demo. Let me know if that was interesting. Let me know if you use them or if you have one and you've never used it. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.